Develop your skills. Exercise 1, Development 02. Navigate and explore the Excel window. When we start with Excel, there's a lot here. A whole bunch of columns across the top, rows going down, buttons, and a whole bunch of cells. Even when there's nothing in an Excel window, it can still be a little daunting. Let's go through the first exercise and really just get familiar with moving around in the workbook. You'll notice that your cursor's different. My cursor over here is that large, kind of thicker white plus sign. That's going to let you select individual cells whenever you left click. If you click on any cell, it highlights that cell. Left clicking brings that highlighted border on, and that means that the cell is active or selected. Anything I type, anything I change, such as bold or italic font, is only going to happen to the selected cells. You can also move around by changing the active cell with the arrow keys. Left, up, right, down. It makes it easy to move small spaces in the workbook without having to take your hands off the keyboard when you use those. Nice and simple, pretty straightforward. Now, say we're out here in cell F10, and I end up hitting the Home key. The Home key is going to snap me right back to the A column. It's not going to change the row that I was in. I'm still in row 10, but I'm in column A. No matter where I am, no matter what row I'm in, when I hit Home, row stays the same, and I snap to column A. When we get down and we realize that there's another function for Home, you'll notice that this one, holding in Control and pressing Home, takes me to A1. No matter where I am, if I hold down the Control key and, with Control held down, press Home, I go to A1. It may not seem very valuable on this worksheet at first, but bear in mind that we can go out thousands of columns and hundreds of thousands of rows down here when you're on column AXT 900,250. Believe me, Control Home is a much better way to get back to the home cell, the A1 cell of your worksheet. Now, it's also important to note that sometimes we just need to hop down a page or two. And you have the page up and page down buttons on your keyboard for exactly that. Page down will jump up or down an entire page. It's important to note that when you do this, it's going to hop down to the first cell that is not already visible. You'll notice that I can see cells 38 and 39 down here. When I press it, it goes to 39, because 39 was partially cut off. If I press page up, you'll notice that 39, it's almost all there, but 38 is the last full cell. In this case, page down takes me to 39. Same story with 77. When I press page down, I'm going right to cell 77. There we go. Page up jumps back to the previous cell. If I press page up now, 77 will be the lowest cell on my page. And now that I'm on 39 and 77 is the lowest, page up again will put 39 as the lowest cell on the page. All over here we can see where all of these different rows are jumping through. And if I just need to go down within 100 rows, usually one or two taps of the page up and down buttons, or of the page up and page down buttons, are going to be a lot easier. When you're scrolling, you can also go left to right, but page up and down's only going to go up and down. Left and right, use these keys down here. This scroll bar will move you left to right, and by clicking you can go right and left. Remember that just because it may stop you at X, Y, or Z initially, if you keep clicking scroll right, you'll notice it heads out. After Z we go to AA, A, B, A, C, A, D, and then after we get all the way through the alphabet, we go BA, BB, BC. This keeps going out. These columns go up until you get 3 letters, and then it just starts scrolling on through them. There are thousands of columns here. To get back to the very start, holding Control, press Home. There we are, A1. Now, sometimes you know exactly where you're going, and you need to hop right there. In that case, you're going to want to use the Go To command. Go To, if you hold in Control and press G, will bring up this window, the Go To window. Anytime you have a specific cell you want to go to, just type in the name of the cell. The name of the cell is always the column and then the row. Let's say I want to go to cell G250. Just type in G and then 250. When I click OK, you'll notice that the highlighted cell is G, which you can You can see the column up here, and the row is 250, which you can see over here. It always highlights and bolds the font on the rows that we have selected there. Now, if we needed to hop right back up, we're down 250 rows. Holding Control, press Home again, back up to A1. Another interesting thing to note is the name box. Right up here, you'll notice if we click down here, we don't have anything in here yet. This is for custom names, but the name box can also take us places. The name box, just to the left of the formula box over here, which we'll cover extensively later, will let you jump to any cell also just by typing in the name. Remember, after we get to Z, the cells go AA, AB, AC. It wouldn't do to have just 26 different columns here. So in this case, let's go to AB9. Once I type in AB9 and press Enter, you'll notice I'm at AB9. Remember, the letters are always going to be the columns, the numbers are always going to be the rows, and as soon as we have selected the specific name of a cell and said go there, it'll select the cell even if there's nothing there. It assumes we're going to do something when we get there, so it just takes us where we've asked to go. Again, holding in Control and pressing Home brings us right back to the start. There's one other thing that's actually different in 2013 from others, and that's that sometimes you need to add new sheets, and you don't start with multiple sheets. Here's what a sheet is. This whole thing we're looking at is the workbook, and just like a book, this can contain as many pages or sheets as we want. Down here you'll see which sheet you're on. Unlike a book, we can have one sheet or one page contain as much as we want. So if I need another page, say I were doing a large inventory and I wanted October, November, and December for my fourth quarter to each be on a different page, I would put October on sheet 1. I would come down here and I would click the plus sign to add sheet 2. Now these sheets may look identical now, but you'll notice if I click on sheet 1 and I add something right up in the top, when I click on sheet 2, it's gone. That's because I'm on a different page now. These are just like the pages of a book. I can click to add one, sheet 3, sheet 4. I can add as many pages as I need to get my work done. But with previous versions of Excel, you started out with 3 sheets. Most workbooks are also a single sheet. So Microsoft has started us off just with sheet 1 and made it very easy to add new sheets as need be. One other quick note here, if you place the mouse pointer over the formula bar here, you'll notice that it changes to that I-beam shape. When we click up here, we're going to be able to type things in and use the left and right keys to move around, just like we were typing in a Word document. You'll notice that it's typing in the selected cell, B2. Here's the reason we might want to go up there. In addition to a couple other special tactics or formulas that we'll cover later, if I click here and I type in some letters and then I press left or right, it's on the sheet itself. So it's entering the letters, but left and right move around. If I have something more complex I need to say and I come up here, now when I'm typing up here and I use left and right, you'll see that that little cursor that's putting the letters in moves just like it does in a Word document. Just be aware of what you have selected. That's the most important part in Excel. You'll do it your whole life, no matter how good you get, you will always have a moment where you start typing and say, wait a minute, something isn't right. 9 times out of 10, you just need to, there we are. Click in the right spot, and Excel's back to doing what you want it to do. Pretty easy fix once you know what you're looking for. One last little note here, just be sure that any time you select a new cell, everything in the cell is automatically highlighted. Here's what I mean. If I come up here and I type in a whole bunch and I realize, oh, I need to rename that cell, when I click here and start typing, from the first letter, everything's erased. That's because Excel, it's not a word program. It doesn't assume we're going to be writing a lot unless we just need to make quick notes. So anytime you start typing in a cell, everything will be erased. The way to get around this is, once the cell is selected, click back up here in the formula bar and get that blinking cursor to tell you where your letters are going to come in. You can type and add them all day up here without deleting everything in the cell. If you need to click a cell, you can either delete from up here or just click and press the delete key. This concludes the first part of Excel, navigating and exploring the Excel window.